again, welcome to GlideFast On Air. I'm Lauren Jankowski, the Marketing Manager here at GlideFast, and I'll be moderating today's webinar, Take Your Company Communication into the Future with Grüply. Before we get started, I'd like to give you some background information on GlideFast Consulting. GlideFast is a consulting firm that is dedicated exclusively to ServiceNow. As an Elite ServiceNow Partner, our expert team of developers and architects have worked on both sides of the table, the customer side and the consulting side. Our company was founded by ServiceNow architects, and we're proud to have a team of over 100 experienced consultants, an average CSAT score of a 4.8 out of 5, and more accolades as you can see here. As a perk of attending today's webinar, we'll be giving away a $50 Visa gift card. We'll announce the winner at the end of today's session, so be sure to stay on for the entire webinar. I'm excited to hand things over to our presenters for today. We have David Arbor, a senior architect, Josh Brostoff, a service delivery manager, and Smit Patel, a senior technical consultant. All right, well, David, Josh, and Smit, you guys can take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Lauren. I appreciate the intro. And hi, everyone. My name is Josh Brostoff. As Lauren was saying, I'm one of the service delivery managers here at GlideFast. And Smit, David, and I are very excited to talk with you today about Grüply. It's a new application that we built completely on the ServiceNow platform for group text messaging in collaboration. So a little bit of an overview of today's agenda, what we'll be talking about, just kind of starting off with an overview, what is Grüply, and really then we'll transition into how it works and the different use cases that you can send text messages through our Grüply application. And then what we'll do kind of after we give you that overview about how everything is set up with Grüply, we're going to transition into a demo. So I'll be handing it off to Smit and David so you can really get a better idea about how the application works within ServiceNow. And then at the end, we'll open it up for Q&A. So if you have any questions about how the application works overall, or how it might fit into your ServiceNow instance or different use cases that you have, we'll open it up at the end there for any questions. So first and foremost, what does Grüply allow users to do? So Grüply allows you to send group-based text messages based on any event in ServiceNow. So what's really important about this is when you have, whether it's a major incident or whether it's a server has gone down or whether you have an outage, you can send group text messages and actually track those responses back in ServiceNow. So for those of you who have ever been in a group text message thread with your friends or family members, Grüply behaves the same way, and it leverages something called the Conversation API to enable that conversation to happen. But something that's really nice about this is when you're tracking an event or all of everything that goes into resolving an event, you want to also see the historical data associated with it. And that's where we enable the responses that come back in a text message thread with Grüply to actually flow back into the associated record in ServiceNow. And that's really important for making sure that you never lose track of anything that's happened as part of that event. You really want to make sure you can report on it. If an executive wants to go back, you can also see what has happened as part of that and how the issue got resolved. So Grüply is simple, it's fast, and it's all built on the ServiceNow platform, which is really great. So you can install it directly into your ServiceNow instance. You can leverage all of the existing data that you already have. So all of the users on your user table, all of the groups, all of the data that you're already maybe pulling from Active Directory, you can leverage because it's installed as an application completely on your ServiceNow platform. And as part of that, it's also a scoped application, which means we're not going to impact the other work that's going on in your ServiceNow instance. So, what ServiceNow is really good at is sending email notifications, right? But something that we do see with a lot of customers is they get so many email notifications from ServiceNow, they just set up a filter in their Outlook, and all those email notifications just flow into that. And natively, ServiceNow doesn't really offer any good, one-on-one instant chat capability, especially through text messages. So really that's where we come in as a nice add-on to enable the actual real-time text messaging with other group members. And this is something that you really can't do natively out of the box in ServiceNow. So this really fits in nicely to be able to notify people within your organization in real time when things are happening. So I just wanted to run through some of the additional features that are included within Grüply. So the first is the bidirectional group text message conversation. So not only when you're sending text messages outbound from your ServiceNow platform, it's also coming back into ServiceNow as well when people respond. So that's what we mean by bidirectional. The text messages are going out and they're also coming back in as well and being recorded within the associated record. You can view the text messages in a group conversation format on the forum view or on mobile as well. So we have a really nice UI that David and Smith are going to be showing you later that's really easy to set up. You can control when conversations start and end. So based on a certain event, you can start that conversation. And then you can also choose to manually end it, or we can actually choose to end it at a particular time based on a timer. It's one of the nicest pieces about this as well is the overall functionality and how we designed this application. We built it in a way that we wanted it to be very no code, low code. And when I say that, it means that your developers don't need to write any code to bring this application to life to send text messages. It's all condition based, which means based on a condition builder in ServiceNow, we could say, the priority is 1, you are able to send those text messages. So we really built that design where you don't need to be a developer. You can be an administrator or someone who really doesn't have a technical background to be able to send these text messages. Very easy, to control security around who can do what and who can set up the configurations. And also the ability to assign tasks through a text. So this is a big one as well. If there's a P1 incident and you have people on call, you could actually send out that text message, and based on the response, we can actually take database actions on the records. So I could accept an incident being assigned to me. I could promote it to a major incident, and various different use cases that your organization might have. So how does the Grüply product work? And again, it's a very easy setup that we have to be able to send out these group text messages. So the first is going through and actually identifying your event that you want to send that text message, right? So we could say there's a P1 incident on this particular server. There is a priority 1, there's a major incident, there's a case for one of our biggest customers that needs to be escalated to a manager. There is a security incident for a particular configuration item. Really any event that you could think of or any use case that you have, that's where Grüply is able to come in and really assist you with sending out those text messages. So the first one is really identifying your use case. The second is creating what we call a configuration record. So this is where you're actually building the individual conditions that are going to send out your group text messages. And David and Smith are going to be showing you how you can build one of these coming up in the demo in a few minutes here. So like you can see in the screenshot, we have the priority 1 is critical and the caller is Smith Patel or the caller is Josh Brostoff, right? So you can really start to identify those individual conditions that are going to be sending out those text messages. And again, this is where it really, plays nicely with not needing to be a developer. You can really have no technical background to be able to create these configuration records to send out the text messages. And the third is just sending it. So once the text messages get sent out, we can actually track all of the live conversations within Grüply. And we can also see all of the responses, who are the participants of that conversation are. And as people send back text messages, you can see those come into the portal in real time. So the records in ServiceNow are actually updating. You don't need to refresh your page. You can actually see the new text messages popping up as people start to respond. So what's great about this as well is your organization may have various different applications that you use within ServiceNow, whether it's HR, security incident, service catalog, the CMDB. The way that we've set this up strategically is to make it usable for all these different applications. So you don't need to actually build out new configurations to be able to use it for these different tables. you actually get these out of the box. So anything that is really extending task, or if you also have additional use cases for other things as well, you can use Grüply for those. So one of the really nice pieces about this, you're not just getting this for incident management in ITSM strictly, you're really getting it for the broader platform. So really, as you continue to expand your footprint of ServiceNow within your organization, you can really offer this application to other groups as well. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and hand it off to Smit Patel, and he's going to walk you through some of the demo features of Grüply.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. All right. So I'm a senior technical consultant with GlideFast. I've been working with the ServiceNow platform for about 6+ years. Really looking forward to showing this app to you guys and just going to the nitty-gritty of it. So as Josh mentioned, we have something called configuration records. So what those are is basically a record where you could specify exactly what type of alert that you want to go out, who do you want to go send that to. For example, in this case, it's to the dev members group, and what fields do you want from the actual record. So for example, on the record, if you have a contact or a customer, that you can specify and dot walk those personas to send the notifications to. So it's not restrictive based on just groups. You could dot walk to any field that you have access to depending on the table that you are. The second thing we have is the condition builder. We wanted it to be low code, no code, where all you have to do is just put in what condition do you want this event to trigger. So in this case, its priority is critical, short description is either this or that, and you have something called a start message and end message. What that is what will be the initial message. So in here, as you see, we have something called this is a P1 alert, and then we have these type of variable fields. So what that does is you could actually get the dynamically fields from the actual record. So in this case, it would be the table name and the number will be pre-popular. So you don't have to have hard-coded messages. They could be dynamic to the flow of what record that it triggers off. Also, you can mention bridges. So in this case, we've mentioned a bridge where once this alert fires, it'll be part of the initial text message. And at that point, whoever is supposed to be joining those, and as an example, the Grüply dev members will be able to join. A couple things that we have in here are the different alert types, so to speak, or event types. One of them is alert, where it simply just sends out a message and records the message back into the platform. We have something called assignment. So assignment was what Josh was mentioning, where you could theoretically have some response come in that says, yes, I'll take this incident, or yes, to a specific keyword or keywords, and we'll assign that particular record to that individual who responded. So it's easily accessible from different means. We also have something called escalation. So for example, let's say this P1 was created, but nobody was assigned to it. You could theoretically have a escalation event trigger after 4 minutes. Let's say you want to send out another text message to a different group saying, hey, why is this still not assigned, and so forth. So we have developed this in a way where you could dynamically choose a bunch of different factors and conditions to start these events and easily send out the message. So for this demo purposes, we're going to go with this P1 incident where it has to meet these categories, and depending on that, we'll go ahead and send that message. So we'll go ahead and create a new incident. So in this incident, I'll choose myself, Josh, or David as a caller, and then we'll say we have software issue, system, and then we have group of service, and then you can select anything. So for example, you can select a particular CI that this issue is occurring on, and then you can go ahead and say Grüply test. And the party has to be 1 and save. So all this will do is go ahead and fire off that initial notification that it takes maybe 10 seconds to go out. And it'll give you an exact highlight view of, okay, what is going on, who all is invited to the actual conversation and so forth. So we also have a couple of other things as you see up here. We have a send text UI action and an end text conversation. So end text will potentially go ahead and end the conversation if, let's say, you were done with this incident. We also have the send text where, let's say you're not part of the actual conversation and I want to ask for an update. So let's say if I'm a director or something, I was not part of the conversation and this incident pops up on my dashboard. So then I could just simply ask, what is the status of this incident? And then I could say send. So as you see, the text message was sent, and if you refresh and scroll down, you can see we have a related list for text messages. So in here, it'll say where exactly this text message was fired from. In this case, it was sent from the ServiceNow form, and it'll say who the person was or who was the person who took action on that actual message. We also capture the initial messages that got sent out. So later in the demo, we'll show the actual portal UI, and it's a better way of showing all this data. So it's going to be a one-stop shop that we have compiled all the data in, and you could send text messages and so forth. But that's all you can do on the back end. That's all it takes. You just trigger an incident, and the app takes care of the rest of it. So if, let's say, David or Josh or myself were responding, you could theoretically, they would appear down there. So as you just saw, Josh, hey, you're joining now?
Josh responded.
Awesome. So again, it's easily trackable, and we have different records in place to make sure that the data is handled correctly. So that's all I have on the backend side. We also have the portal view that David has developed, so I'll go ahead and let him take it from there.
Sure. Yeah, so we have a portal here for Grüply. That's what Smit's showing right now. And so the idea here was we wanted to build something that was sort of a one-stop shop for everyone to go to, for users to go to, so that they didn't have to navigate through the platform UI. So we provided this portal. It's one-stop shop. Everything is here. You can see all live. So we're in here as an admin right now. As an admin, you can see all live conversations. You can see past conversations that have taken place that are no longer active. You can search on those by any number of factors that's configurable, but you can search by participants. You can search by incident number or task number, whatever it is that you're looking for. Those probably all have Josh in them, Smith. That's why it's not limiting them down. There you go. So it does a type ahead search type thing where it shows, what those results are in live time. And then in the live conversations, if we go to live conversations right quick, we can see that we actually have the incident that Smith just created, and it is right in front of us here. So you can view participants, the phone numbers that are associated with each participant, and you can view the messages. You can see that these are the messages that have come through today. If this is a message, if this is a conversation that spans more than one day, then you're going to see more than one day here, and you can view it by day. I'm going to respond real quick, just so you can see live time how it updates. I'm going to say, I'm here as well. How can I help? So let's see. And we'll show you how you can do it in the portal as well. Add these in the portal. Okay, so I've just texted back that I'm saying that I have joined this conversation, and there I am. I'm here as well. How can I help? So that came through my text. I can see all of the conversation, all of the text messages within this one. In my normal text messaging app, I have an iOS, mine's an iPhone. But then you can also see it here, and it live updates. Do you want to go ahead and add one maybe, Smith? So if you were an admin or a user in here viewing this conversation so as an admin, you're going to see all conversations. As a user, you're going to see the conversations that you're part of. So right now we're in as an admin, and so we can send it directly from the portal as well. And then that comes to all of our phones as well as a new text message that's part of that conversation. So like I said, one-stop shop, single pane of glass type thing here. You can view configuration records from in here. You can create configuration records in here. You can see your in-use phone numbers. So the way this works is that you're allocated a certain number of phone numbers that don't change, that we administer for you. And so you're going to see a list of your phone numbers that are in use. So we have 4 conversations going on right now with different incidents, as you can see. And we also have the available numbers. And I don't know if we have any available right now, but go ahead and click it. Yeah, see, none are available. So all 4 of ours are used right now. Some larger companies are going to have, many, many numbers. Some smaller companies are probably only going to have a few. So basically, you can't have a phone number. If you run out of phone numbers, you can't have another conversation started. So you want to have enough phone numbers there allocated for yourself that you're not going to run out of those phone numbers. Okay. But as soon as the conversation ends, that phone number becomes available again. So I wanted to just show real quick on live conversations, Smith, if you would. On our incident that we're looking at here, there's also a few things that you can do directly from here for managing the conversation. So you can open the conversation in the platform right there. And so that's going to open a new tab that takes you to the conversation record. This one's only available for admins, so users won't see that. And you can actually go to the task record that it's related to as well, the record. And that is available to non-admins as well. So they can go to the record and see what's going on with it if they need to. And you also have the little power button there, which allows us to end the conversation, and that will end the conversation in ServiceNow, as well as on the API side that's driving all of these notifications. And it frees up the number for you. So I think that's it for the portal.
Awesome.
We are adding enhancements constantly as well. So just want to say that there's a lot on here that's configurable, and there's a lot on here that we can add for you.
Exactly. Awesome. And now I'll just quickly show how all this conversation looks on a cell phone. So go ahead and stop sharing. So as you can see, in my cell phone, I get all the text messages back and forth where it will tell me exactly what platform it's coming from. So if it's a regular text message, it'll just say who the user is. In this case, Josh said, hey, I'm here, join now. And then he was saying, hey, I'm working. And then as you see, we have different tags or name tags associated with the text messages that come through, because for some reason, you may not have somebody's number, so you want to know who's responding to the actual conversation. So we have that built in. And we also have different, if you're responding from a Grüply portal or the backend form, we have differentiators in place. So that way, you know exactly where the message is coming from or going, and they come in instantaneously. So and the flow between the text messages and ServiceNow is maybe a second, if that. So it's fast, it's quick, it's easy to manage, and that's what we wanted to aim when we wanted to develop this app.
Yeah, and the driving force here is to get people available when something is down. Incident is a prime example of that. Something's down, something that's high priority is down. So rather than opening a bridge and trying to collect everyone, we know everyone has cell phones. Let's send a message out to everyone that's involved and get everyone on it ASAP, because that's the point, right? Is to resolve an incident as quickly as you possibly can. So.
Exactly. And the use cases are, depends on what your company or your use cases are. For example, it could go from CSM with customers, it could go to SecOps, incident management, and so forth. So the number of use cases we have are based on whatever you are already consuming or will want to consume in the future. So there's no limitations as to how much or how little you can use this app in your platform.
Throw those pagers away.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Smith and David. That was really informative. Lauren, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, so before we dive into some Q&A, we'd like to ask one polling question. And as Smith was talking about a bunch of use cases, we want to ask you guys, where do you see yourself using this app? So I'm going to launch the poll right now and give everyone about 30 seconds. So where do you see yourself using this app? ITSM, SecOps, CSM, HR, or other? Awesome. So it looks like the majority of you said ITSM, with SecOps coming in at a close second. Great.
Makes sense.
Now I see some questions, so I'm going to read these to you guys, and Smit, David, Josh, feel free to answer them. So first question, I see you're logged into the app as an admin during this demo. Do all users of the app see that same view in the portal, or is this view for non-admins different?
I'll take that one. Yeah, so, well, as we sort of mentioned throughout the demo, there are certain things that are going to be missing for non-admins, like, you know, ending a conversation. You want those to happen naturally if it's not being done by an admin. You don't want users to go in and end your conversation without, you know, for no reason. So there are certain things that don't show, but there's the layout of the application is the same. So, you know, there's going to be functionality you don't get, but the layout is the same.
Awesome. Here's another one. How can I find out more about pricing for this application?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So in terms of pricing, it's really based on the size of your organization and how many people are going to be participating in these text message conversations. But if you have specific questions around the pricing for your organization, you can reach out to us at info@glidefast.com. And I'll actually roll into the, you know, the next one here as well in regard to pricing. Is there an independent app, or do I have to purchase something else with it? So this is completely independent here. So really the way this works is it's a scoped application, and we are really, you don't have to purchase a specific application from ServiceNow. It is considered a standalone application that essentially integrates with other pieces of your ServiceNow platform.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Got a bunch of questions here. How quickly would we be able to deploy this application after buying it?
Awesome. I could take that one. Yeah, so we've made it where all you have to do is plug and play, right? You get yourself X amount of numbers, so we could give you, depending on your organization needs, if you say you need 50 numbers, we would deploy that for you with the application. So all you have to do is simply just install the application in your platform, whether it's dev, prod, test, and that's all. You don't have to really configure anything else, just numbers and authentication, and then you're good to go. So maybe an hour at max.
And set up your configuration records, but that's going to be, they're specific to customers. So
exactly.
Those are very simple to set up.
Yep.
Great. Two more questions here. Can the users opt in and out of these text via notification preferences in their profile?
Yes, I can take that one too. Yeah, so we have a option in the notification. So each user profile has an option whether or not they want to receive Grüply messages. So it's simple true or false or checkbox. You just check it if you want it, you know, check it off if you don't want it. So as simple as that. Depending on what your organization needs are, you could have that default to true for everybody. So everybody will have to opt out, or, you know, everybody would have to opt in depending on what the use cases are, but it's totally up to, it's flexible in that way.
Great, and looks like we have one more question. How many tables will this application take up?
So we've tried to keep this application as low as possible. So there's only 4 tables that come through with the application. So it helps with the licensing and the cost that the customers have. So we don't create a big splash in the customer's environment. So that was also a goal or aim of us, to make sure that, you know, we don't have to make customers buy more tables or so forth. So it's only 4 tables, and they're pretty simple to configure as well.
Awesome. Well, that looks like all the questions that just came in. And if anyone else does have any more questions that arise, definitely reach out to us at info@glidefast.com. But now I'd like to move on and announce the winner of our $50 Visa gift card. And it looks like the winner is Lou Hunnebeck. Congratulations, Lou. We're going to be sending you your Visa gift card through the email that you signed up for this webinar on. Thank you to everyone for attending today's webinar. We hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels or at info@glidefast.com. To see more on-air sessions, just visit our website. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much, everyone.